Well, the last time Israel faced fanaticism was in the Second World War. And that came, as it happened, that came from Germany, middle of Europe. But we, the rest of us, we had to knock it on the head. And we did. Unimaginable suffering for the Jews and Israel, but we had to stop it because it was a sickness, a scourge. Now that is happening in the Muslim world. It's fanaticism, and we should be supporting. I hope we are supporting Israel all the way. It's got to be stopped, and so has Putin got to be stopped in Ukraine.
And the fanaticism, Alf, is of the Iranian leadership in repeatedly and openly saying we want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and also falling foul of obligations it signed up to when it came to nuclear proliferation.
All of that is fanaticism. Come on, it's got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped now.
And the deaths, hang on a sec, Alf, the deaths of 78 people in Iran. Of course, not all of them are going to be connected with the leadership. There will be civilians in that too.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. You're speaking a bit fast. I'm sorry.
The deaths of 78 people, not all of them clearly connected with the Iranian regime. Some of them will be civilians. Is that justified in ending the fanaticism?
Absolutely. And anything. Yeah, they've got to be stopped, mate.
I don't think anything, mate, is going to be justified. Not anything. But you're right. I mean, this is an Iranian leadership that has said without dispute and regularly that it wants to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and is getting closer because they fell foul of their obligations only yesterday, that was reported, about nuclear proliferation. Kamal is in Harrow. Hi, Kamal.
Yeah, hi. I think it's Israel that has to be stopped. Israel has consistently...
Well, leave that to the Iranian regime. They want to do it.
Well, let's have a little bit of background here, okay? Obviously, the world is watching, the Muslim world is watching, that Israel is able to act with impunity when it comes to Gaza and West Bank. They have killed hundreds of thousands of children, civilians. They've invaded Lebanon. They have bombed Lebanon. They have, in the past, they also bombed a site in Iraq 20 years ago, and also Syria. And now they want to mess with Iran. I think it's time that somebody actually did something about it. And we need more than just words to deal with it. Let me start by saying this. I do not like war. I do not like war.
No, I don't think anyone likes war.
Well, from the Indian subcontinent. So obviously my family had to flee from India to move to Pakistan. I do not like war. But at the same time, when you have a government at the moment, the Israeli far right, like Smotrich and Netanyahu, they do not want peace in the region. And when a sovereign nation is attacked, they have every right to defend themselves.
Yes, I think
with
that's
whatever
reasonable.
they have.
In the same way, Kamal, that Israel would say it has been attacked on numerous occasions by the proxies of the Iranian state and by Iran itself, by a nation state, Iran, who have fallen foul of the obligations that it signed up to when it came to nuclear proliferation, the same state whose leaders have regularly called on the annihilation of Israel.
Iran has never used nuclear weapons, and as far as I'm aware...
Well, it doesn't have one yet, but it's aiming to get one.
Yeah, it's aiming to get one. They should have one. Israel...
You want Iran to have a nuclear weapon?
In fact, I would... I take that back. I would say both Iran and Israel should agree to get rid of their nuclear weapon.
Well, that would be ideal, and then the whole world could join them. That'd be great. A denuclearizing world, fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
The reality is that isn't going to happen. So in order to stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon... Do you think Israel is right, given that they aren't doing it themselves, the Iranians, because they've fallen foul of it? What response should Israel have done in order to stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon?
If they're so worried about Iran getting a nuclear weapon, then they need to look at what they're doing. They need to look at what they're doing in Gaza and the West Bank, because that has an impact in the Muslim world.
So if Israel
that has an impact in the Muslim world,
but Kamal, even before these events in Gaza started happening, the Iranians had always been saying we want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. This isn't a new thing from the Iranians.
I know that, but
come back to it. So there's the Israeli government saying, well, in order to stop the threat of nuclear weapons coming from Iran, where they are very, very close to doing it, having shown that they've fallen foul of their obligations to not do it, we're going to... I think,
honestly, the solution with this lies with Israel. It's in Israel's hand. Israel should stop the genocide, and if they stop genocide and have a one state where Jews and Muslims and Christians have lived together like they have done for thousands of years, then there will not be this problem.
Kamal.
Yes.
I don't know that we can... Two things can be true at the same time. You can think that it is absolutely appalling what is happening in Gaza, and that Israel needs to stop, and that its offences need to end, and that the aid needs to be distributed. You can think all that and still think, I believe, that it's right that Israel takes military means to go and stop the Iranians who want them wiped off the face of the earth from procuring a nuclear weapon.
But if you look at it this way, there are many Muslim countries, the Arab world is watching and the Muslim world is watching, and they're seeing that in...
Jordan and Saudi Arabia shot down Iranian drones on behalf of the Israelis last night.
I'm aware of that.
So is that good or bad? In your worldview, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Obviously, if drones are flying in their own international territory, then of course they are within their right to take action.
All right, Kamal, appreciate the call.
I think Israel's just further destabilising the whole region, and if anything, making itself more of a target.
Israel's making itself more of a target by taking out the capabilities of the state that's targeting it to target it.
No, not just taking out, not just targeting them, but the whole preemptive strike, because it opens them up to the argument now that you've attacked a sovereign nation, which now has the right to self-defense.
Yeah, and it does, and it's taken it's exercised that right by sending over 100 drones or so, none of which I think got through.
I know, but it literally opened the door now for Iran to continue. And if anything, give them the excuse and even the moral high ground now where they can say, we were attacked first. Whereas before, we were just making threats. Whereas now Israel has attacked our land.
OK, so if we were to work that through, the threat being ballistic missiles and possibly nuclear weapons, what is Israel meant to do? Is it how close to midnight, how close to total destruction should Israel get before it takes action to stop that from happening?
I honestly believe Israel has the intelligence and the capabilities to not only defend itself, but to even prevent it without having to launch missiles into Iran.
How?
The same way.
It just shoots the nuclear weapon out of the sky, or?
No, I believe if Israel was genuinely under attack or under a serious threat, they would have shown evidence of it.
But they've shown, Akram, there's been evidence of it. This isn't an Israeli assessment. The International Observer of Nuclear Proliferation said that Iran had fallen foul of its agreements on nuclear proliferation because it had enriched uranium to levels that it promised it wouldn't do.
No, I understand, but that isn't a direct threat to Israel itself.
Well, it is when the people doing the enriching said, we want to build a nuclear weapon to wipe Israel off the face of the earth.
I understand, but again, it's threats. Same way if North Korea was to say, we want to wipe the United States off the face of the earth.
Yes. So I come back to the point. How close do Israel need to get to obliteration before they can take action?
Again, I think that's the wrong way to phrase the question.
What's the right way?
The right way, I'd say... there's other ways, there's other avenues that can be explored first.
Which is? Diplomacy? Oh, he's gone. Now listen, on my children's life, and I mean this really, really seriously, on my children's life, I did not end that call. I haven't pulled his fader down. I haven't cut him off. He just went.
I've been listening to some of your list of people who called, Kamal and the person after that.
Yes.
To be honest with you, as an Iranian, most of us are opposed and against what Iranian government are doing in the region.
Yes.
And that's something we are ashamed of, and it's not something that we enjoy. We're not proud at all. We can see other neighbors, Pakistan and other Muslim countries, are so proud of what Iran is doing, but we are not. They probably are in love with what Iranian government is doing, but we are not. And what I can't understand, some of the callers said, if Israel stopped attacking Gaza, Iran wouldn't do all these things. It's got nothing to do with Iran.
Quite.
It's between Israel and Gaza. Why Iranian government is getting involved? It's because they are all Muslim. Is that the reason? Well,
Hamas are in part funded by Iran.
Yes, that's correct.
So there is, to that extent, there is Iranian involvement. They arm them.
Yes, but if you want to look at it in a different way, it's not a war between Iran and Israel. It's war between Iran and Hamas. So Iran shouldn't get involved. But because Iran is doing all the activities in the region and all the terrorist activities, of course, he doesn't want the area to be in peace.
As much as there's just so much complete and utter heartbreak and tragedy in that region of the world, and has been for decades and decades, Hannah, that one of the crucible of civilization has now got in charge of it a theocratic madmen who subjugate the people of that country to the extent that it cannot fulfill the potential that it clearly has with the people that it clearly has, such as yourself.
That's correct. People like me have to flee Iran because of the horrible government. Instead of investing in the people, they invest in Gaza, investing in all different countries around the world that bringing war to every country around the world. Yeah. So I'm very sorry, and I do not agree with the callers that called a few minutes ago.
Well, Hannah, I'm really, really grateful to you for ringing in as an Iranian in this country, because I think it does challenge some people's perhaps like biases that all of Iran is with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps as they set out on this path to destroy Israel.